Ice-T and Bodycount are back with a brain-spanking new record, Bloodlust. It is great from start to finish in the way an old-fashioned great rock record should be. And Ice is in some fine, visceral form. He's got along some huge guests on this record, Blythe Dave Mustaine and more. I caught up with main shredder of the group and longtime Ice-T friend ErnieC to chat about the record and, of course, Donald Trump. ULP Bloodlust is out now, and it's great from start to finish, mate. Well done.
Thank you so much. From start to finish, we made a record sequence to play like that. So it takes you through a journey, from start to finish. That's a lost art that people really don't know about because people sell so many singles now.
Absolutely. It is an incredibly lost art form, so it's so much more important we do get a great record. Get along and check it out. Bloodlust is out, and the guys are out in the country in June. We'll get all these details up soon. 25 years since Cop Killer, Ernie. The world has changed so much, but yet it's changed so little at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed so very slightly. You could release Cop Killer today and it would have the same impact. We have, on this record, we have a song No Lives Matter, which is, we've grown up, we've gotten older and grown up over 25 years, but the world hasn't. So we understand now that, there's class war that goes on also. It has a lot to do with everything, not just, the cops aren't just the problem. There's a lot of other economic problems that are underneath everything.
Absolutely, mate. Such a pertinent time for this record to come out. The world's in a very dark place. America's in a very scary place. How important for you as a musician, and as a human being as well, is being able to give a voice to the disaffected right now, to be able to give a voice to people that need it most?
It's very important. I mean, that's why the record is doing, the record's doing well all around the country because you needed a voice. When we first wrote some of these songs, I sent it to my friend Tom Morello. He raised Vince Machine and Prophets of Rage right now. I sent it to Tom, some songs to Tom, and he said it's good to have an unfiltered voice out there right now because everything is so watered down, everybody's trying to get a spin on everything. But this is the way we really feel. This goes from us straight to the people. It's not no middleman in between doing a spin on it. This is the way we feel about things and the way things are.
It's only been 3 years between records, but watching, say, Chuck D and Tom and the guys from Prophets of Rage put out a record, was that part of the inspiration for doing this record right now? No, not at all. It had absolutely nothing to do with that. Rage Against the Machine used to be our opening act, back in the day. But we're not really a political band. Ice always says we're a political band at times. Sometimes we hit the nail right on the head. But, this is the same group that can turn around and play KKK bitch. So, we're not really a political band. We're political at times. So, we do all kind of different. We do Mama's Gotta Die. We'll turn around and play Talk Shit, Get Shot. So we're not political, at times. Oh, so incredibly well said. We are chatting to ErnieC of Bodycount this afternoon for your drive home. The new record, Bloodlust, is out now. And as he touched on, not exactly a political band, but I love some of the narrative on this record, both from Dave Mustaine and from Ice and from everyone across the record, explaining why exactly the band started and what these songs mean. I don't feel like there's enough narrative in great records these days.
Yeah, we try to explain everything so you understand. You're not just, you put on a record and you just listen to songs. You don't hear nothing about the band. Ice explains, what we listen to, what influenced us. It's kind of like an interview on the record, kind of. He puts on, this is what influenced us. This is what this band, starts out to be. I've known Ernie played guitar with me in high school. He explains a lot of stuff, a lot of narrative. And Dave, Dave used to. His band Megadeth used to come out to Ice's "Don't Worry, Be Happy" with Jello Biafra at the beginning. That used to be his opening. So he knew exactly when we went to Dave and said, we have a song for you. Dave knew exactly what to put right there. We didn't have anything to do with him writing that. He wrote that himself.
That is fantastic. I want to come back to Dave Mustaine in just a second because incredible track, incredible guitar work. But I must ask, I've been chatting to a lot of bands recently about the cyclical nature of music and, how generations try to rail against what's come before them. Do you think now after 15, 20 years of EDM and just generic pop music that heavy music and rock music and music with something to say is just about to come back in that cyclical nature again?
Yeah, I believe it is. I mean, you can only blank out your brain for so long. People were in denial. In this country, we had for 8 years we had Obama as president. Nothing was wrong with Obama except for everything was so cool. Everything was cool while he was in office. Everything was fine. And so then Trump gets in office, and 1 month in, it's like haywire. Everybody's panicking, and everybody don't know what to do. But now everything's changed, and Trump made the whole world climate change, not just the U.S. He made the whole world climate change. 2 days in, didn't he go to talk about your prime minister or something? Don't think that you're the only one that thinks he's an idiot. Don't think that you own that title, okay?
All right, well, look, we could talk about politics all day, but we are chatting to ErnieC of Bodycount Bloodlust is the record. It's out now. The guys are here in June. I do want to come back to Dave Mustaine in a second, but I want to touch on Raining Blood is an incredible tribute to Slayer. But you've done it in reverse. Post-mortem is generally the track before Raining in Blood, but you've done it the other way around. I love how you've done that. How did that come about?
Because we used to listen to the record and it used to play like that sometimes. We did it in reverse because it just seems like it goes like that. It goes because we wanted to come out smoking. You know what I mean? That's our intro song. And then, the guys they must like it because, first of all, they give us Slayer is real picky about who does their songs, first of all. And then the live wire awards that are here in October, Kerry King's going to come out and play it with us. So they must like it. They don't hang with people they don't like. I know, and then Tom might even sing with Ice. So
absolutely. I have run into Kerry in a few airport lounges around the place, and he's not the most hospitable man if he doesn't like the looks of you, but a fitting tribute to the band and also to Jeff Hanneman as well, who we sadly lost a couple of years ago. One thing we ask everybody who comes on the show, Ernie, and I'd love to hear this from you as a man with such a diverse interest and incredible talents. What was the first record that you ever got that got you into music?
The first record, the first record I got didn't get me into music. The first record I got was Just My Imagination by the Temptations, because I lived in Detroit, and Motown was part of the city works, you know what I mean? And I went to buy a 45, and I scratched out Temptations and to act like it was me. I scratched it out on the record, and every time I played it, it was like me. So that's the first record I ever bought. What got me into playing rock and roll was I started playing Isley Brothers, because during that time, during the 70s, it's on R&B radio, the Isley Brothers were the only group that had a guitar solo in the Parliament. That's the only groups that is. Whereas someone handed me Led Zeppelin, all the Led Zeppelin records up to that point. And I was just like, that was it. I was sold. It wasn't Hendrix that sold me. It was Jimmy Page that really got me into rock and roll.
Very, very well said. ErnieC of Bodycount, loving the new record, Bloodlust. It's an incredible return to form for you guys. Really looking forward to these shows in June. Thanks for dropping by the drive home.
And thank you very much for having me.